I'm honored to present to you Dr. Ken Harris. Ken is a pioneer in holistic healing, the founder of the New Jersey Waldwick Wellness Center, which is a multi-doctor facility providing natural health and wellness care since 1975. In 1993, he established a Mind-Body Education Center dedicated to the exploration, understanding, and promotion of the mind-body-spirit connection. He has appeared in 3 documentary films and on podcasts, radio, and TV discussing holistic health and healing. He has authored 2 best-selling books available on Amazon and enjoys hiking, photography, writing, and public speaking. I'm honored that he's the first guest here, and I'm honored to tell you that he's a very dear and loving friend and brother to me.
So just give me a minute. I want to go around and just feel your hearts, look in your beautiful eyes, because you're going to give me my material tonight. I came with a whole list of things to talk about, but I know that you brought the lecture here, each and every one of you. Let me just give you a little bit of the logistics. So in the beginning, we're not going to have any questions to initiate. I'm going to blibber-blabber a little bit, give you a background on the 7 types of synchronicities, the 6 reasons why we need each other in our life path, the 5 questions you might ask yourself, why did that happen? And then there are 4 practices you can implement to increase the likelihood of having them more in your life. Let me tell you, synchronicity is fun. I'm sure everybody in this configuration tonight has had multiple synchronicities in their lives. I about have one a day. For me, walking in here and seeing that prayer of St. Francis, that's my favorite prayer. I say it every day. I didn't know it was here, but I felt right at home as soon as I saw it. And the initiating sentence is, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Well, the world needs peace, folks. We're at the 11th hour, and I am so thankful that people are willing to come out and, as my friend Miriam said, learn something new. Isn't that what you told me, Miriam? You're a seeker. We're all seekers. And we're all students and teachers to each other. And if anyone tells you they know everything, run now. Just leave if they think they got it all figured out. Because we live and move and have our life in mystery. No one knows the whole show. But we know enough to know that something big is going on in the cosmos. Right here on little old planet Earth, the 3rd rock from the central sun. We're essential. We're part of the grand divine design. And I think we're living now in an age of synchronicity because the powers that be in the other world, on the other side of the veil, are encouraging us to meet. Tribes are forming all over the planet now. That's the future, by the way, because our governments, as we now know, are breaking down. I think they're going to go bankrupt tomorrow night. Isn't that what they're telling people?
Tonight.
Well, tonight. I mean, every 6 months you hear the same story. So what was working is no longer working. In government, it's no longer working in healthcare, it's no longer working in education. There's a whole new paradigm looking to emerge. So we're going to go through the transition. We're in the mush. You know, the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis and it goes into a mush state. But we are the imaginal cells. We're the ones that are going to create that beautiful butterfly because we've been called. Everyone here tonight has been called in some shape, form, by experience. They know there's something going on. So tonight we'll discuss, as I said, the 7 types, the 6 reasons, the 5 questions, and the 4 practices. But beyond that, this is going to be a seed group now. We're going to develop friendships here, I hope, tonight. So, synchronicity, the magic, the mystery, the meaning. Why did I write a book about it? I'll tell you why. I was told it's time. This is the era of reconnection. Many of us in this room, we've already known each other in other lifetimes. And you're going to find, you're going to meet someone, and you're going to have this sense of feeling of familiarity. You ever have that? You just meet someone, and you just know you knew them before. It's not spoken, but you can feel it. You'll know your tribe members, by the way, not by what they look like, because that changes down through the ages, but by how you feel in his or her presence. And I met 2 of my tribe members here last week. We did a Joe Dispenza walk. They came, these 2 beautiful angels showed up out of nowhere, but they were sent, and we, with 5 other people, we did the walk for the earth. Anyone participate in that anywhere? Anyone, you know who Joe Dispenza is? Raise your hand, okay. So he had 140,000 people last year, simultaneously, concurrently, all around the planet, walking in a meditation practice. I believe that was the first time it's ever happened on that scale. 143 countries and 140,000 people. Sounds familiar. They said somewhere in that holy book, 144,000. We were short 4,000. Anyway, we'll see. I don't want to get locked into numbers, but there's a reemergence of the memory. People are waking up. You wouldn't be here tonight if you were sleepwalking. You know, you can smell it, you can taste it. Big changes are coming. But fear not, because all the institutions have to do this. The phoenix will rise. And so these little groups are going to form all over the planet. This is the beginning of a new paradigm of government, you might say. That's how I'm looking at it. This center will be a point of light in North Jersey. And we encourage you to bring your friends in future gatherings. And if you're not members, how much does it cost, Billy, to become a member?
$40.
$40. I mean, you know, that's a night out and a cup of coffee somewhere for a movie. So, and as Bill said, it's a not-for-profit organization. So no one's making money here. We're all volunteers. Yeah. They wanted to give me an honorarium. I said, are you kidding me? I couldn't take money from a not-for-profit. So I'm here just like everybody else, wanting to make this thing grow and expand and help to change. You know, meditators, we can change crime in a neighborhood. They've done studies on this. This is not woo-woo stuff. This is actually documentary. So how many people here have a regular meditation practice? Good. I would say that's the quickest way for you to evolve as a spiritual being, is to check in each and every day with the field, because we're all connected to the same field. There's only one field, and we're all part of that field. We're all differentiations of the one. We are one when we are together, and we are one when we are alone. We're connected. We're connected at the deepest level of the soul, of your heart. Your heart brought you here tonight. It wasn't your head. You may have said, I'm curious, I want to go find something out about this synchronicity stuff. But everyone is experiencing it. In my little card that I gave out to you, it says synchronicity is ubiquitous. Everyone's experiencing it all the time. They're just not aware of it. It's a divine design. We were created as one body of consciousness. And so, as my friend Albert Einstein would say, separation is an optical delusion. Very convincing, nonetheless, because our five senses tell us that you're there and I'm here. Well, at the 3D level of consciousness, that's true. But at the 5D level of reality, it's not true. There's really, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. There's really only one of us. There's only one consciousness, and we're all aspects of the one. And so what I do to you behooves me to be kind to myself, because I'm doing it to myself. And when the world catches that vision, there'll be no more wars. There'll be no more competition. There'll be no more competitiveness. There'll be cooperation. There'll be collaboration. There will be, if I can find this thing here, there will be heaven on earth again. Because there once was a heaven on this planet. And there was a fall of consciousness, and we're just crawling our way back. We're all walking around with spiritual amnesia. That's the only disease there really is, folks. We just forgot who we are and why we're here. That's what you're going to have to do in the second half. You're going to ask that question, who are you and what are you here for? Well, we know everybody wants something, but everybody is here to give something as well. So I'll set that up on the other half. But that's the big idea. So synchronicity happens because consciousness wants us to reconnect with the one. Now, many people use the word God. I don't use the word God. You fill in your blank there. Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus, or Apple. But there is a source of creation. This planet didn't come into beingness because there was an explosion somewhere out of the sun. No. Life is intelligent. Life can be trusted. We're all walking a path for a very specific reason. And when you find that reason, joy comes back into your life. You live in what we call flow. Things just open up haphazardly. You don't have to make anything happen. You can relax. My friend used to say, people come, it's a smorgasbord life, and they come with their own menu. and they want to make it over. No, it's all been prepared. All we got to do is stay aware, awake, and alert. And synchronicity is one of the ways in which you wake up. So I'm going to read to you a little bit from my book about the 7 types, because they're all not the same. On the cover of the book is a symbol. It's a sacred symbol. Anyone know what that is? Flower of life. You know what it means? Everything's connected. All of us, we're all connected. They find crop circles with this. So there are different ways in which we are connected. It's not a linear connection always. So let me read. Well, let me just tell you this. If you go on my website for free, you don't take notes. You're going to get a 7-page printout of the 7654 formula. It's all there and it's given to you for free. You can print it out. It's all enumerated in detail. But tonight we'll just cursory go over it. Now I understand that, if I'm not mistaken, Billy, that Wayne Dyer spoke to this group many, many years ago. Is that true, Peggy?
No, we had Deepak Chopra, Ram Dass.
Oh, Rhonda. Oh, my other buddy. Okay. I thought Wayne never spoke to this group?
Wayne never spoke.
All right, well, he sent me tonight. Okay, in lieu of him. I had the privilege of being Wayne's chiropractor, and I used to fly to Maui to take care of him, and Ram Dass was also my friend. So this morning, in my attunement room, and she'll attest to this, there's a big picture of Ram Dass and Wayne, because when I do the healing work, I bring him into consciousness. Someone who was a medium said, don't worry, wherever you show up, Wayne will be standing behind you. So maybe if some of you are mediums, you'll see him here right now. In any case, he put out something, and he was responsible for awakening millions of people, but I just happened to find this today in my book. It says, and this is from Wayne, know that everything will happen at just the right time, at just the right place, with just the right people. That's been my experience. At this point in flow, I don't even have to go out and look for the tribes. They're finding me. We're finding each other rapidly. And I think tonight what will happen here, we're going to have some synchronicities happen here tonight. When you break down into little groups, you're going to know that someone who knows someone who knows someone who did this, and you're going to laugh. Because this is not our first rodeo, folks. You wouldn't be here tonight if it was your first rodeo. So let me enumerate some of the types of synchronicities. The first one is called precursor. Precursor is you have a dream. Anyone have a dream and then the next day that what they dreamt about actually took place? Raise your hand if that's happened to you. Yeah, it's not that uncommon. So dreams are one form of synchronicity. You get premonitions. You get a preview before it actually happens. Another type of synchronicity is what we call deviation. Deviation synchronicities happen when you do something different during your routine. You don't go home the same way. You take a different train, a different bus. You go to a different store. You order something different at the supermarket, or buy it at the supermarket or at the restaurant. You deviate from your normal routine. Oftentimes, they turn to be blessings in disguise. Sometimes you get lost in the car. You know, that GPS system tells you to go the wrong way, but you discover a whole new part of your neighborhood or a whole new area that we didn't even know existed before. So deviation is another one. Expansion synchronicities happen when you go through times of significant pure spiritual growth. You're going to meet someone, and as a result of that chance encounter, you're going to get a new job, you're going to get a new opportunity. And does that happen to anyone ever, that they met someone and all of a sudden they got a job as a result of that chance? Then you get message synchronicities. Messages are also types of expansion synchronicities, and they're usually signs or omens. You get a precursor, you get a warning, and you get a feeling. Don't go down there, go over this way. Or you'll meet someone and they'll give you an answer to a question you've been struggling with. You ever have a dilemma, you don't know if you should go left or you should go right in life, and all of a sudden you meet someone and they give you the answer, if you pay attention to what they say. There are also opportunity synchronicities where you may change where you live, where you work. You're going to meet someone who's going to say, you know, we're looking for someone like you. Through Billy, I got my web designer. I call him up one day and I say, Billy, what are you doing? He said, well, I just got off the phone with these web designers. I said, I need a web designer. And so we both now use the same web design. I didn't have to go further. So opportunity synchronicities happen in the most uncanniest of ways and unexpected ways. So those are the 7 types, and there's a lot more in detail if you get the printout. Well, let's talk about why we meet each other. I'm always fascinated. Why am I meeting this person? For me, every encounter, I feel I can learn something from everybody. We're all students and teachers to each other. We're all always exchanging energy and information. So, you know, the guy who's pumping my gas, I talk to him. The person at the checkout center, I speak Spanish. I'm pretty good at Spanish. So people, no one talks to the people checking them out. You should talk to them. You may learn something. So don't judge people by their station in life. You may get information you wouldn't get anywhere else by just encountering people. So some people are sent into our lives to remind us of who we are. We meet a person and we wake up. We say, oh my God, I've been sleepwalking my whole life. And that person reflects that back to me. Sometimes we meet people, they're just going to be our cheerleaders. They're going to encourage us. Have you ever had someone, a friend, who's just right there for you and says, keep going, don't give up? I've had many of them in my life. I've tried to give up more than once. Sometimes you meet people who are literally going to hold space for you. They're just going to be your friend unconditionally. They're not there to fix you, they're not there to change you, they're just there to be in your life as a reminder of the beautiful person you already are. Sometimes you'll meet people and they'll stay with you forever. Now, I'm married 54 years to the same lady. That's my real accomplishment. My vitae, they should put married, 54 years, same person. I met my wife, I only knew her a month. We got engaged. 54 years later, we're still best of friends. She's not here tonight because she had a tooth taken out, an abscessed tooth. But she said, well, one good thing, Ken, I can't come because I'm in a lot of pain, but at least I won't have to listen to your stories again. we have a signal on the beach. We winter in Florida, so I meet a lot of people on the beach because I'm pretty friendly. And she's heard every story. She's been there for half of them, but she could verbatim repeat the synchronicity stories. So when she sees I'm going to be in a protracted conversation with someone, she takes out her phone and she says, the kids are calling, I'll see you later. Listen, I don't want to have to stand there. I'll talk for hours and she's busy about doing what she needs to be doing. So we came to an agreement. Now, there are 5 questions you should ask. People always say to me, hey Doc, I'm going to tell you the synchronicity. What does it mean? And you know what I say? Nothing has any meaning less than meaning you give to it. Don't ask someone else to interpret why it happened. You're going to have to connect the dots and figure that out for yourself. But there's hidden and deeper meanings in every encounter. So one of the questions you would ask is, could what just happened be a precursor of something that's coming down the pike? Upriver, but it's going to come down sooner than later. It's an omen. Did I just do something improbable to cause this? Did I manifest something by dwelling on it? Do you know that if you perseverate and you think about something long enough, you can manifest it? One of the things that Dr. Dispenza's work teaches in meditation is if you neural link a thought with an elevated emotion as believing it's already happened, you have a much greater chance of actually bringing it into the 3D world of manifestation. So thoughts are electrical, emotions are magnetic. You neural link a thought with a feeling, and this is where most people lose it. They say the mantra over and over and over, but they never really believe it or feel it in their bodies. But if you can do that, you create a Wi-Fi. And the signal goes out, and the emotion brings back the manifestation. The thought sends the signal, and the emotion brings it to you. It works. Sometimes, you know, we're looking for one thing and we find another. They call that serendipity. You know, I always tell people, did you ever lose something in your house? You go look and say for your glasses, but you find your keys, but you didn't know your keys were lost. It's happened to all of us. So sometimes serendipity is a guidepost to direct us. And the other day I was looking for something, and I didn't even know I lost it, but I was looking for something else and I found it. So I was very thankful. Now, if you want to have more synchronicity in your life, there are 4 actual practices you can do. Number 1, talk to strangers. You know why? Your strangers are your friends, you just haven't met them to that moment. That's how my attitude. When I met Miriam here, I already felt a kinship with her. Did you feel like you and I were friendly? Like, it wasn't our first meeting, at least from my side of the pancake. So talk to strangers, ask questions, write down and keep an anecdotal record of your encounters with various people. Start keeping a journal. And then you're going to see patterns develop. You're going to see things emerge, actually, that you were not aware of before. And if you keep that log long enough, you can write your own book on synchronicity, because that's what I did. I just started to write down all the so-called wow synchronicities I was having day after day after day. Sometimes I'd have what we call a super synchronicity. 3 in a row. Now, I just came back from vacation. I was up in Nantucket. And the first day I arrived, this young lady I had met 2 years prior, she says, Dr. Ken, so glad you're back. You have to meet my friend Holly. I says, okay. And then she writes Holly on an index card. She says, just keep it on you. I want you to meet this lady. I said, well, if it's my destiny, I will. And I forgot about it totally, right? So we're there for a whole week. The day before I'm leaving, I'm coming out of the house that I was renting, and I see this woman walking down the street, and I could look at her, and I just knew intuitively. I said, you had that look like you just forgot your phone, didn't you? She said, I did. You know, I don't know about you, but losing a phone is worse than losing a pocketbook these days. My whole life, part of it's in this little thing here. Anyway, so she runs back in. The very next day, the same thing happens. 2 days in a row, and it was different times of the day. I walked out, and there was that woman, and we engaged in conversation. What I'm experiencing now is that we can go down a rabbit hole real quick with people who are conscious. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can meet them and, man, off we're running. And you'll know right away. Usually what people will ask you when you travel, and I do a lot of it, they'll say, what are you doing here? You know, I said, what am I doing here? I said, I'm just visiting. And they look at me and I say, aren't we all? What are we all doing here? We're just visiting, folks. And then they'll say, where did you come from? Depending on their level of awareness, I look in their eyes, I say the same place you came from. I go like this. And sometimes they look like this guy's weird. And then I know we're not going to go any further. I say, I'm from New Jersey. They get that. So those are common things. People will always ask you, where do you come from, what do you do, and so on. But there's a deeper meaning. If you stay aware, awake, and alert, you look in someone's eyes, and you'll know immediately, 5 seconds, is this a fellow tribe member or not? And you have to be discerning. We're not here to harm anybody or shine. My teacher always say, hey, Kenny, shine the light on the path, not in their eyes. You'll blind them. So you have to be discerning about what you can and can't say with certain people, but you know what I'm talking about. So the final thoughts I had on synchronicity, after we just discussed the ways to have more of them, I would like to read them to you, because there's quite a few. So people move in and out of your life path based on the law of attraction and the vibrational energy or frequency that you're expressing. So it's not an accident you meet certain people when you do. It's all tonal. It's all music, folks. Einstein says we were sung into existence. That's what we are. We're sound. In the beginning was what? The word, and then there was light. So we were vibrationally brought into consciousness. Trust the organic process of your journey. Your vibe will attract your tribe. That's absolutely true. You're sending out through the Wi-Fi, the unconscious. You're going to attract the right people at the right time, hopefully at the right place. And the universe is always speaking to you. Pay attention. It's sending little messages to get your attention and to remind you that we are all connected and not walking through our lives alone. I think the worst part of the whole COVID situation that we just came through was the separation. We were disconnected from everybody, and in many cases fearful. Some people, they wouldn't let you come 6 feet within them. I was in Florida. A lady asked me if I took the vaccine. I said, no, I don't believe in it. She says, stay back, get back. Like I was going to kill her. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. I mean, people couldn't even go and say goodbye to their loved ones behind plexiglass. Crazy. I hope it never happens again. I hope people don't succumb to the fear. But disconnection is the worst thing you can do for your physical, mental, and emotional health. Isolation is worse than drinking and smoking. Trust me on this one. It will depress your immune system to the point where you'll be more vulnerable to every virus or bacteria in the world. So stay connected. Don't isolate. When people get depressed, I always tell them, you got to get out of your house. You're not going to get better by lying in bed. You got to move, number one. You got to obviously change your diet, but you got to reach out to people. Force yourself to call people. Be in the presence of other people. We are here to help each other. That's the only reason we're here. If we didn't need each other, there'd only be one of us in that sense. So we're here to offer blessing and help to one another. And that's the most enhancing thing you can do for your immune system. More than any pill, powder, or potion you could ever take. Connection. And of course, I would say connection first, this way. I would say, vertical connection with your source, and then horizontal connection with your other fellow beings. So here's my final thought on life. Love is the connector for all of us. We all come from love, and unto love we shall return. In the meantime, we're busy with a lot of drama on this planet right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't sweat the small stuff, folks. It's all small stuff. So the last thing I want you to know, when you are about to take your last breath, you're going to realize it was never random. The people you met, how you met them, why you met them, there was always a reason. And be thankful. You know, people say, "Hey, Doc, it's good to see you today." And I say, "Well, it's a lot better than being shown." I like to be seen still. I'm happy I came back. Actually, I had an OBE where they told me, I was told, "Go back, you're not done." I literally heard the voice. And so back into my body I came, and so here I am 3.5 years later. I got some extra innings, I call it, which is the chapter in my new book. There's 23 stories. Mine is Extra Innings, a Reprieve from Sudden Death, How Synchronicity Saved My Life. I believe it was a divine intervention for me that I was given this extra time, because I still have more yipping and yapping to do. I got more gas in my tank, I feel. Anyway, so at the end of your life, you're going to realize this random business, I don't believe in it. Nothing is random. Everything is divinely orchestrated, as Eckhart Tolle would say, to wake us up. To wake us up. So all the calamities and all the stuff that comes down on us, it's just our soul's attempt to get our attention, to reawaken the memory of who and what we are and why we're here.